Hello, I'm Paul, and this is the Cereal Aisle, and I have another Transformer review, and this time I have uh, Transformers Masterpiece Bumblebee, and I'm actually really excited to do this review. Spoiler, I actually really like this figure quite a bit, so I'm really excited to do this. I'm glad I got him. Was always a big Bumblebee fan as a kid. Uh, I wanted one for the Masterpiece collection. I think if you have a Transformers Masterpiece collection, I think he's a must buy. I think he looks really great. But he comes with some weird kind of qualifiers for that, and I don't think those detract from him. But they're things that I think you should know about beforehand. So let's just jump right into it. I'm going to show you the box. I don't often do boxes, but it's a small box, so I don't mind. I'm going to move him to the side here, and then this is his box right here. Let me kind of get that in frame. So that's it. He's kind of small. It's not big. Oh, and I'm sorry. So he comes with Spike. So as you can see here, he's got his bug. It's Bumblebee. It's Spike. It's got the logo. That kind of stuff. This part like slides off, but it's a cool box. So yeah, I should have said this in the beginning. It is Bumblebee and Spike, and it's Bumblebee in his VW bug form. So that's a big deal for me. Like Bumblebee is a VW bug. I know the most recent incarnations and the Bayverse have him as a Camaro, and they've done a good job of marking that as Bumblebee. But to me, Bumblebee will always be that old school VW bug. So to have a Masterpiece Bumblebee as a bug is a big deal to me. So he does come with a Spike figure here, which is a cool little add-on. I don't really care one way. Like, this is not the reason I got this figure. Spike to me I don't have any feelings one way or the other about him. He's just kind of whatever. It's a cool thing to have. There's some interesting things here. I think it's pretty accurate to the movie and the cartoon. But it's just a nice bonus. It's not a big deal for me. So I think I'll get him out of the way first and then come back to him just because I have more to say about him. So here's Spike. It's Spike in like the robot suit thing that transforms, right? So this turns into like a little vehicle thing. He has the bubble head, which actually comes off, if I can get it off, right? So, and you can see his head there a little bit. The painting is okay. It's not like super detailed, but yeah, that's his head. And he's got like some robot arms and stuff, and it looks okay. He does feel like pretty solid. Like this part here is like metal, so it feels really solid in your hands. It stands pretty well. It has some joints, like a decent knee jointish thing. And I'll transform into his vehicle thing just to show that. So the head actually tilts up, and then the dome is normally facing this way, but for the vehicle mode, you're going to turn it to face that way. So a little more torpedo-like. So I will point this out, and again, this may just be my figure. It may not be a problem with everybody, but this, as you see right here, this ball joint is super loose. Like this never stays in. I mean, as long as it's sitting there, it'll stay in. But the second I start transforming it or kind of posing this, it always comes out. It's easy to put back in, but that's something to be aware of. I don't know if this is like a quality thing across the board or if it's just mine, but it's there. So the arms you put above the shoulders or his head, and then there's hinges in here which actually flip up, so you're going to do that. And again, I'm sure yep, this arm is going to come off a bunch of times during it, so which is gross. I know, I'm sorry, but that's just how mine is, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm just going to do that. You're going to extend that. Actually, this will help me show it. There's one of his wheels is tucked in there, so you're going to extend this one. Let me pop that back on there. And this one I never have any issues with. This one's actually never popped off. So extend that way. And then the front chest here, this is actually, you can see there's like a hinge here, and you're going to flip this down. So pull that apart there. Flip it down. Let me kind of get this out of the way a little bit. like this. Yeah, it's a little weird. Like his transformation is a little weird. I didn't actually understand it the first time I did it. I'm like, what the heck am I doing with this thing? But it made sense afterwards. Again, this thing keeps popping out, which is super annoying. And I'm sorry you guys have to see this, but hey, this is the reality of it. Um, the legs, so pull those up this way. These are actually kind of confusing. So this part actually um, folds out this way and it pegs in here, and then it folds down, and you actually fold this up. Um, it was act that's a it's a little odd, honestly. To be honest, that's well, I've never seen anything like that, but whatever, it works. So I do the same on the other side. Fold this up, fold that down, and then you basically kind of squash the legs up, and they peg together there. And then the arms form they go together, and then he's in his vehicle mode thing. So, yep. And this is totally how it is out of the movie, out of the cartoon. Looks good, does what it needs to do. Again, this isn't my focus. I'm not interested in the character, so it just kind of is what it is. You guys might be way more interested, have more opinions on it. Nuts and bolts, though, like he does feel good in your hands. It's just unfortunate. Mine has that ball joint thing that's always popping out on every transformation. So otherwise, I actually think the transformation is actually kind of clever. But because of that, I almost never transform it. So I'm gonna put him aside and get back to the star here. Bumblebee. Bumblebee is he's really cool. I mean, he's the kid brother. He's the little guy, the young guy in the group, and everything about this figure says that. It does a really good job of defining the character. And if you guys follow the Masterpiece series, you'll know that they do everything to scale to basically MP10. So all of the figures are to scale with each other. You don't have I know when they came out with the very first version of the Masterpiece Hot Rod, he was huge. So he's like standing. He's as tall as Optimus Prime, but like the car is gigantic, which kind of did make a ton of sense. But now everything's in scale, so he is perfectly in scale with all the other Masterpiece. Like I have, I'm not gonna show it just because it's way too big, but I have the Ultra Magnus, and like he fits perfectly on the trailer. When you have him in vehicle mode next to Optimus Prime, he's perfectly in scale with that. Like the size of a bug next to a big semi, it looks perfectly, and he looks great standing next to the other Masterpiece figures. That being said, that means he is really small. I don't know if you guys can tell by this how it is here, but he's small. Like I have big hands, but like he sits like right in my hand. Like I have, let's see, I have here's a Voyager, I'm sorry, a deluxe figure I have. Here's Blur. Blur's bigger than he is. Like he's a small figure. And for the price of what Masterpiece figures are, that may turn off a bunch of people, and you have every right to be turned off by that. But that being said, except for one issue I have, his quality is top notch. The second you hold him, you realize like, oh, this isn't like a Voyager. This isn't like a deluxe. He is the quality is significantly higher than those guys. So let's get into some of the details. So he does come with his little gun here. His hands are not articulated. I'm going to talk about the hands a little bit more in a second. The face actually does come off. The face actually looks pretty good. And this actually does come off. He does have some alternative faces. He has, I forgot what version comes with it, but one of them has like where the face plate is like, the eyes are like a visor and the mouth and lips are just like a block face plate. It's like a warrior plate basically. That's not the version I got. I think it's the Takar version. And then the other one I have is more of just a straight face. The way it comes off is actually the top here. This part, you need to get like a nail in there or something, like your fingernail, and kind of pry this part off because the pegs that are in there are really deep. I'm not going to mess with it now because the face that's on there right now, I like it. I think it looks good. The blue eyes, they look really good. The color of that yellowish orange is really, really awesome. I love the red on the Autobot logo. Uh, the feet here are actually like the front of the car, and like there's like plastic on the lights that look really, really good. In the back, he looks great. All the way around, he looks really, really good. And some of this is die cast, and you can feel it. So he's got his joint. I think they're kind of ball joint. They're ball joints at the hips here, so it moves all the way around. So his knees are a little weird. This part here is his knee. I know it's really low down, so it looks like his knees are his ankles, but they're not. So he does have like some movement here at the ankle, and this kind of turns here. So, but he does have it does turn like here, right? So it bends there. So it does look all right, but the first time I saw it, it did look a little bit weird. But he's got good extension, so you can get him into some good poses. The shoulders are ball jointed. He's got swivel right there, and then the hands don't have any articulation; they're just gripped, which I'm okay with. The biggest problem, and this will be my only major gripe with this character, is with the hands, and it has to do with the transformation. Is if you see this here, it's just the gap. They just do the fold in thing here. So for the transformation, the hands will fold in there. So it works. It folds in tight, but when you fold it out, it just leaves a gap, and it's ugly. Like, luckily for most of the time, you don't see it because he's just staying there. But for a masterpiece figure, I would expect them and would like them to do something here. Whether something folds up, you get another flap here or something. The fact that there's just a gap there kind of bothers me. I'm getting that ding out of the way. That's my biggest problem with this figure, is this right there. It's a little pet peeve. And the thing is, you don't see it most of the time, but just kind of knowing that's there does bother me a little bit. The head is on a swivel. It's not on a ball joint, so he does turn like all the way around, but it doesn't look up or down. Oh no, it does. It does look up. It looks down just a little. Actually, never mind. I am totally wrong. So it does look up and down, so he can actually get all sorts of angles. It's not exactly a ball joint, but it does turn around. I'm going to transform into his vehicle. But before I do that, I'm going to bring in Optimus just so you can see really, like, size-wise what I'm talking about. So here's Masterpiece Bumblebee, and here's Masterpiece Optimus. Like, look, it's just his legs. Like, that's him. And realistically, like, that's scale. Like, that's how big Bumblebee should be. Bumblebee's tiny. Like, Optimus would bend down to just talk to him because he was so small. And trust me, when he's in vehicle mode, he's like perfectly in scale with Optimus, which is MP10, in vehicle mode as well. So he is tiny. Like, there's nothing I can say about it. Like, that's the way he's supposed to be, and they did a good job of capturing it. So, all right, let me get him out of the way, and I'll go with this transformation, which I like quite a bit. So masterpiece figures can be really complicated. Like, their transformations can have all sorts of like weird flaps and panels and stuff. Like, to get this TV accurate kind of G1 accurate thing, it takes a lot of doing, but he's actually not overly complicated, and it makes his transformation really, really fun. So to get started, this right here is actually spins around. So you just push in the bottom and then flip it around. So it goes away. I actually like that feature quite a bit. It looks really nice. The hands, as I pointed out earlier, they flip in there. Now, these parts right here, which is a light, they actually, it's on a, I don't know what you call that, but it actually moves, and you're going to move this back here, and you'll see in a second, because this is part of his, like, back bumper, basically. So, just kind of moving those back here. So, this the back of the car actually comes up, and you're going to want to, so, first off, this part here, you're going to want to, like, get this out. There's a part that's folded in there because it's the very bottom of his back bumper. See? So now it's actually his full back bumper. And you're going to want to spin that around. It actually spins really nicely. And you're just going to... Sorry, I had that out of frame. Canopy that, and it just kind of snaps into place. Both of the arms, you're going to turn around, so it's facing basically backwards. Oop. Wait, yep. and these parts, you're gonna swing upwards. And actually, so before I get into that, like this part right here, there's a peg here that actually pegs into the arm right there. There's a hole. So you just kind of, it makes this part really easy, is attaching that first. Sorry, as I say easy, as I like fumble with it is actually easy. It's just that like it's how I have to hold this so you guys can kind of see it. All right, so and then actually turn that down so it lines up. So you turn this so it lines up, and then you just slide that there, and that's it. That's all there is to that part right there. Get that out of the way. Fit this here. And then hold the light down and out of the way. The joints and swivels on this are actually really stiff, which I actually like it because they really, when they're in place, they're in place. So now that you have them like kind of half formed, pull this part down, and there's actually the hood of the car. Part of the hood of the car is there. Just pull that out. Leave that pull down there like that, and you're going to kind of flip out these panels for the legs, and then you can actually peg these together. Let me get the wheels out. The wheels fold back up. Oh, and then now that that's there, and now pretty much all you got to do is, well, actually, I'll do this before I do that. Kind of slide it back into place so it fits here. Do the same thing on the other side. Heck, why am I struggling like a moron? Ah, that's why. And then zip up the front of this guy. There it is. Whew. So, there he is. Bumblebee. And he rolls. So, yeah. I think he looks really good. I really, really like this character quite a bit. I really like the way he turned out. He is a VW bug, and he really looks like a VW bug. So he does come with a couple accessories. Like this license plate thing comes off, and you can put like it comes with the VW like hub thing. I just don't like the way it looks, and he didn't have it in the show, so I don't put it on there. And he does actually, there's holes in here if you want to put in. It does come with tiny black rear view mirrors. I didn't do that because I would lose them in a second. So yeah, otherwise really great figure. I love the detail on the wheels. It's got the silver with the VW logo on it. Looks really good. I really like him, but I do have to qualify. Like if you're just getting into collecting Transformers, you're just getting into the Masterpiece series, I would not recommend him as your first. I would still recommend people get MP10 Optimus. I think he's the best one, just because Bumblebee's really small, and I think his value comes in with having other ones. When he's around the other Masterpiece, he looks really good because of the scale things, because of the details. So if you're like an existing Masterpiece collector and you don't have Bumblebee, highly recommend him. Highly recommend him. I think he's really good. I think he's like 8.5. If you're just getting into it, I would say start with someone else and then come back around him, unless you're a diehard Bumblebee fan, because he still has a Masterpiece price tag on him, and the scale might throw you off. But beyond that, I think he's really good. I think, do your research on him. If you have other Masterpiece figures, without a question, I think he's a buy. If not, maybe wait a little bit. But really happy with this guy. I think he looks really, really great. I think I'm gonna maybe put him all my other ones in vehicle mode and throw him on the trailer because I think that would look pretty dope. But yeah, this is Masterpiece Bumblebee. Uh, but yeah, I think he's a solid 8.5. Really good, really fun figure. You guys check him out. All right, if you guys have any questions, comments, anything like that, just leave a message below. Thanks.